Before we start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe underneath this video. We're about to start, so grab a drink as well as something to eat, and let's go. Alright, hello everyone, it's Happy, and today we're going to be talking about equipment slots, when should you use them, and on what tanks you should use them. This is going to be the most in-depth guide on equipment, so stay tuned, I bet you will learn a lot. So, I'm going to be going through each equipment slot one by one and telling you what tank you should use them on and when. So first, let's break down gun rammer versus calibrated shells. So gun rammer obviously increases your DPM, while calibrated shells increases your penetration. Everyone knows that. However, gun rammer has two rules to it. First, if you have a fast DPM tank or a quick reload tank, you have to use gun rammer. And number two, if your gold penetration is enough, use gun rammer. So the combination of these two rules allow you to use gun rammer. For example, we have the IS-4, the FV215B, or we have the E5. They have decent DPM, and their gold penetration, for example the IS-4 and E5's gold penetration with heat is 340. This means they don't need to use calibrated shells. If you use calibrated shells on an E5, that is a second or more wasted. That means your DPM is going out of the window, therefore your in-game stats will also be affected. You won't be doing as much damage on the E5 as a player who is using gun rammer. Furthermore, calibrated shells should be used on tanks with a very long reload, for example the E100, the Sheridan, and the Death Star, because that 1 second of DPM or 2 seconds max won't really give you anything. It's more important to be able to penetrate your shots rather than miss them and then cry for 15 seconds when someone pushes you. I think this makes complete sense for a lot of people. So if your penetration is super low, or if your gold penetration isn't there and your reload is super long, then use calibrated shells. It makes sense. A golden rule is if you have 15 seconds or plus a time of reload, then definitely use calibrated shells, because you want to be penetrating every single shot and maximizing your damage output. Next, we have enhanced gun laying drive and supercharge. I really don't know when people use supercharge. It doesn't really make sense to me. Only some tanks that, only some shells that fly super slowly. Even then, I wouldn't really recommend using supercharge. I would rather decrease my aim time, even if it's already insane. However, a more interesting thing is vertical stabilizer versus refined gun. So vertical stabilizer decreases your aiming time. For example, this is very useful on tanks such as the T62. Because you're running around, you're a medium and a light, therefore you want to increase your stabilization and be more accurate when you're on the move. However, if your tank is very slow, however, if your tank is very inaccurate, for example the Super Conqueror IS-7 E100, I would recommend using refined gun, because your gun is, inaccurate. This increases your accuracy, or in other words, increases your dispersion. So I recommend using very inaccurate guns to use refined gun. However, the T62 and the Object 140, for example, should put stabilization on because their guns are very accurate. A lot of medium tanks should put vertical stabilizer, especially light tanks, because they shoot while moving. Heavy tanks mostly should be playing with refined gun if their accuracy is very, very bad. So next we move to defense system and improved modules. So improved modules should be used on tanks that like to ram other tanks or heavy tanks. For example, the AMX-50B. It's a heavy tank, it likes to ram people, therefore I suggest using improved modules. Furthermore, an E5 could also benefit from this, because again, this increases to the durability of your modules. For example, it increases the durability of your ammo rack. The E5 doesn't necessarily blow up from an ammo rack, but it gets its ammo rack knocked out, therefore your DPM goes out the window. However, in tanks, for tanks that have a high chance of their ammo rack blowing up, such as the IS-7, Object 140, T-54, they should be using the defense system. Furthermore, German tanks such as the E-75, E-100, Jagdpanzer E-100 that are prone to fires when shooting the lower plate should use defense system. I think this makes complete sense, guys, and I think you guys understood when to use defense system and improved modules. Next, we have improved assembly. and enhanced armor. I made a completely different video, like a separate video on this. We tested the armor, and there I explained that enhanced armor should be used on heavily armored tanks such as the Mouse, IS-4, IS-7, E100, etc, etc, because armor really matters there. If you have a very low armored tank such as the Leopard, you shouldn't be putting enhanced armor, guys. HP makes more sense in that situation. Furthermore, we have toolbox and enhanced strengths. Enhanced strengths are used on tanks such as the IS-4 to increase the durability of my tracks, so my tracks stop more shells coming at me. Toolbox, however, should be used by the majority of players, even when playing an IS-4. I don't know why I put enhanced strengths. I'm just used to it, I guess. Toolbox is a lot more useful. 30% to module repair speed is insanely useful, guys. Now we have improved optics and camo nets. Of course, improved optics should be used by all medium tanks, heavy tanks, and light tanks. The only exception would be TDs. TDs use camo net, and even then, not all TDs should use camo net. For example, I'm a very aggressive player, so in my 268 and Forge, I like to be at the front line. Therefore, I also used improved optics on those. However, if you're a Hori, a Grill, you should be using camo net for sure. Now, lastly, we have engine accelerator. And improved control. So engine accelerator I use on pretty much all tanks. I don't know who increases their traverse speed, only because engine accelerator engine accelerator also increases the turn rate speed, if you know what I mean. So unless it's a very slow TD, I would, you know, not recommend ever putting improved control. I would always go with engine accelerator. And now lastly, we have consumable delivery system. This is for tanks that don't have adrenaline or don't use adrenaline, or the armor thingy. I forgot what it's called. God damn it. The reactive armor. There we go. If you have reactive armor or adrenaline, I suggest switching to high-end consumables, because this allows for your adrenaline and reactive armor to stay up longer. Therefore, you can shoot faster and stay a bit longer in battle. While a consumable delivery system is for tanks that use, you know, the normal repair kit system, medical system, fire extinguisher, you know, etc, etc, just so that they, you know, get back to you a lot faster. So I hope this video was useful to you guys. If it was, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. With that, happy is out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.